Well, in today's video, I thought it'd be very interesting for y'all to see what goes on with the trail maintainers on trail. So you're going to get a chance to see them in action. You're going to get a chance to maybe see me in just a little bit of action. But the big thing is, I want you to see how hard working they are, what an organized machine they got going on there, and it was a pretty awesome experience, and I'm looking forward to do it again. So we started off the day there at Rome Mountain Post Office, so we all kind of assembled about 9 o'clock, and people got in there. I mean, everybody was pretty much on time, got in there. There was about 23 of us. So once we figured out how many folks, he wasn't expecting but about 16. So he counts on people to let him know if they're going to be there, and that didn't happen. No problem. Good problem to have if you got too many people, right? So he split us up into 2 teams, and one team went one direction, another team went the other. Got a chance while we're sitting there in the circle to chat with some folks and met the awesome Bob Peoples. So if you don't know who Bob Peoples is, he is a phenom on the trail. He's about 85, maybe 185, I don't know. He's been around as long as the trail has, I think. But Bob is respected throughout the hiker community. He's done a lot of hiking. I believe he's a thru hiker. He's hiked the Camino over in Europe. So he's just go-to guy for that, but also go-to guy for trail maintainer. So he's been doing that forever, and just really nice to meet him. Bob's the type of person, when Bob speaks, the Appalachian Trail listens. So nice to meet Bob, and nice to meet everybody there. So we rallied there, and then we went ahead and left after we got the crew split up and did some four-wheeling on some back road, forest roads that reminded me of some dumb stuff I'd have done when I was a kid growing up, right? So these roads were sketchy, to say the least. Straight drop off to the side, real slick, rutted out, no turnouts, no way. If somebody's, blind corners, if somebody's coming at you, there is no way that you are, I don't know what you'd do. It'd be a chore to back your way out of there. But in any case, didn't have any problems getting up there. I guess this is the good part, huh?
Yeah. Get in the truck with strange people and then go up.
We were going up to the Canute Farm, which is down the trail from Moreland Gap. So our point was to try to complete that section there to get over to Moreland Gap Shelter. And couldn't make it all the way, so we stopped there just short of Canute Farm and loaded everything up, split up into what the jobs were going to be for, because we had so many people. We had sawyers and we could do some treadway work, and so we split all that up and off we went. All right, here we go, getting ready to get started. So I am on the treadway repair right now. So the sawyers and the swampers moved out a little earlier, getting our stuff together, and I am heading on up, going up to the trail now, and be working on, sounds like be working on mainly root balls. So excited about helping out. So we'll get that. We're not too far off the trail now. We'll get up here and make it happen. And I'll probably showing you mainly treadway work today. It's all got to be done, right? And of course we'll be looking at some of the devastation that we had. All right, as usual, I have been chastised for following directions. So Joe's bringing up the group now. So we're going to the first hole where I was told to go, and apparently now I need to stop, so we're stopping. All right, they're stopping at that first root ball. They're gonna take care of that, and Cat Herder and Jim and I are going the jewel of the trail. No, that's not a jewel. Gemini is not a jewel. Jim's a jewel. Gemini's a astrological sign anyway. we're going to the next one. So this is obviously the south or the east side. So coming up, we didn't see nothing. Now we got this mess. How long did it take them to cut through all this?
They worked all day up here yesterday.
Did they? Yeah. So is this the first time they'd been up here?
From this side.
Yeah. Is this the Canute farm, that field back there?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I think it's pretty nasty like this, almost all the way to Moreland Gap.
How far is Moreland Gap from here?
2 miles.
Is it? Okay.
2 miles. Can you imagine the wind in here?
Yeah.
The trees came down. It must have been.
Yeah, I can, because I was in the middle of it in my woods. I've never seen. All right, that root ball is what we are getting ready to tackle. Now, looking at it right now, I would estimate a week to 10 days. We'll see. Y'all ready through?
Yeah, that was too easy.
What's it look like on inside the wood?
It'll do.
All right. So we.
Seems as though it went through pretty easy for most.
So what we're making now is a support for the side of the trail. So this is locust. We're going to cut this, and then we got to haul it by hand about 100 yards up the trail, and to use the support at a blowout. All right, so we are DXing that log. We determined that that was not locust, that was sourwood, because it was too easy to cut through. So that's when you got a man on a saw knows what he's doing. That's he figured it out real quick, because locust is a whole lot denser. So we're going to find another one. All right, we found a log. That didn't take long. It's just a second for you guys. Anyway, we found a log, and we Carl, I think's his name, he sawed it. Sawyers don't tote. Their time is, since not everybody can carry a saw or use one, their time's more valuable spent sawing instead of toting. So this is, Carl just did this, and I'm going back up here as a runner to get the rest of the crew. We'll come down and get that log, and that'll work. All right. I swear I'm not a smoker. You never know. I'm out of hiking shape. All right, so we're about 50 yards that way. This is where we're getting the rock piles from. Some places, yeah, that one's too big. Some places where the trees turned over, you can pull them out of the root balls. But when you can't and it's frozen right now, you just harvest them out of the creek. So there you go. I don't know if that's leave no trace or not, but we're fixing the trail.
All right.
We're going to put them in there, and then we're going to put that log in there. He's cutting us some stakes, fill it with dirt, pack it, call that it for this one. We'll make it pretty some other year. Now, normally Joe's bossing everybody around and pointing fingers and not doing nothing except hollering at us. But right now he knows he's on camera. He's stopped talking.
I can do that too if you want.
No, Joe's the hardest working.
You don't believe me? Just ask Tom Saline. He'll tell you. He's my buddy.
I'm sure you've given him an earful. Better than it was.
Sure is.
Better than it was.
It's better than it was.
All right, that's how you fill in kinda a root ball. This will probably get filled in one day, maybe. If God don't do it, they might have to. All right, moving on. Okay, so this is how maintainers get their tools to where they're working. They carry them. And that one
too big to cut. So you just cut a notch in it. But pretty up here. Of course, except for the million trees that are down.
Look at us, Mystical. We're rerouting.
Well, I'm slower than slower.
All right, to the uninitiated, this just looks like some logs that they cut, right? But I want you to think about how they had to plan this. So that log there used to be there. There's no way they moved that by manpower. They had to time it to where they cut that end and that end, and you got to make your cuts to where pointing downhill, and when you make that last cut through, it rolls down here. So that log rolled all the way from there, and then obviously this was off the ground and that comes down on the ground. So I'm sure they probably use wedges to facilitate that. If you look at that cut, see how that cut's pointing, maybe get a better idea. But see how these cuts are pointing in the direction. That's kind of a straight cut, but that cut up there is pointing in the direction they want it to roll. So it rolled all the way from there at 15 feet to there. And you'll see how this cut is not a straight cut. It goes across, diagonally, so that it releases diagonally from that tree down in the direction you want it to roll. That's pretty freaking amazing. So cuts just don't, with a chainsaw, it's a linear object, right? So it just doesn't, it cuts in one direction. It doesn't cut a moon out of something. So either his bar's bent or his chain is sharper on one side than it is the other. So you got teeth on a chainsaw that, one tooth in front of the next one is offset or cuts in the opposite direction. So it removes chunks. So both teeth are cutting, one's cutting left, one's cutting right. And if you've got one side that's sharpened more than the other, then it's going to cut on an angle like that. Or his bar may be bent. All right, it's about 12:30. We are about 1.5 miles from Canute Farm and half a mile from connecting these two sections. So we have reached the point here where we've caught up with the sawyers. So they're going to work on that root ball, and these cat herders giving me permission to come on up here and film something for you folks. So I wanted to show you the sawyers and the swampers, what they're doing. So the trail is pretty much impeded from here up, half a mile in. So while the folks up there they got a bigger saw, so they're sawing the big stuff, and then he comes, this sawyer here, he comes and puts it on the ground. We'll go up there, maybe get in front of him. They're going to work. I'm going to scout up here and see what they got in front of them once they get that out of the way. Man, makes me want to get back on trail. I don't care if I'm digging in the dirt or walking on it, walking on the dirt. I want to get back on trail. All right, I'll let you know if what we come across. But this is, so I'll tell you right quick, the club has not been through here. So that was the back end. So if it gets bombed out in here, other than maybe a scouter coming through here, y'all folks will be the first one that's laid eyes on it. And it'd be interesting to see if they take all that out or just the bottom limbs. Because what they've been doing at some point is just taking out the bottom limbs. We'll see. I'll get accountability of root balls for cat herder too. All right, be with you in a minute. So, this area through here is an occasional blowdown. You know, it's amazing. If you look down there, you'll see, look at that, all that devastation. But where I'm at right now, obviously, if I can get around it very easily, so can other folks. So this type of stuff is a pain, but it's hikeable. And maybe this is what Scotty from Saws was talking about, getting around up through the wilderness there at Wilbur Dam Road up to on into Damascus. Now I've completely lost the dadgum trail. Wow. Now this gets to be a problem when you lose the trail. Oh, I see it. There's the blaze. So now, and looks like the trail runs next to it. Wow, you guys probably saw the blaze before I did. So, not any giant, huge stuff so far. It's pretty with the snow. Oh, we'll see coming up through here. This may be part that got bombed out. We'll see when we get around this tree and turn the corner. That's a complicated cut right there. That's a root ball. It's got to be fixed. Oh, yuck. Yeah, this is a lot up through here. Would I want to hike it? No. Really slow go. Ooh, bad mojo. Look at that. Holy cow. So I think that's the Bernoulli effect. You got a draw over here, I'm sorry, a spur here and a spur there and a draw here. So the wind coming up gets funneled right in here, and the Bernoulli effect causes it to accelerate. It's kind of what keeps a plane in the air. If you see the shape of a wing of a plane, it's not, unless it's a jet, but most planes have a, I think it's called a dihedral, a flat to them. And on the bottom, then the top was oval shaped. And so that's so that the air going across the bottom is split, and to meet up on the other side, because it's a longer distance, it has to accelerate, creating a low pressure over top of the wing, a lower pressure creating lift on the bottom. And this is a problem here. So this is going to be, oh yeah, this is not going to be fun for them. All right, I can get around this, I can get through it, but with a pack on, yeah, I mean, you could pick your way around it, but do you want to? I don't know. I can't say that I would want to. But yeah, that's a mess there. I'm gonna take a picture of it. Yep, one thing's for sure, you cannot get an appreciation for it as you come out here. Now, Joe's right. It's going to open up some pretty views. You could overlook all the timber on the ground. All right, I'm gonna go up here and turn one more corner, then I'm gonna head on back. Yep, there's another root ball that's taking the trail up. That one, yeah, so that one's repairable. Oh, here's the trail. Yep, man, that is not. Oh, crap. All right, I'm done as far as I can go. Yep, see what he meant. All right, trail's all in there. I'm thinking somewhere those red ribbons are the trail, and then I'm seeing some others up here. I'm thinking that they're going to reroute over the top here till that gets cleared. See how that's going to get cleared for a long time, but yeah, that's what it's looking like. Let's see what this ribbon says up here. Bypass. Yeah, you're gonna need bypass surgery if you tried to hike through all that mess right there. Oh, all right. I think that's it as far as I need to go to see the bombed out portion. Somewhere down in there, it's like it's getting back on trail. All right, through all that tangle down there, that's where the AT is. Okay, it's lower elevation where I'm at now. I'm on a ridge coming back up from where all that damage was. There's already a trail here. I don't know if it's the old AT or a game trail or what it is, but there's a perfectly good trail here with a pair of loppers. You could come through here and just make it convenient. It's already easy. And this is where they need to move the trail to. Instead down there, I don't know why it's not already on this portion of it. But it would be so easy to do that. See, I mean, for all intents and purposes, this is a trail. And you see there's not a lot of growth and stuff on it, so, I mean, people have been using it. So, and I guess it may be people just using it in general just to see a ridge walk or something. But, of course, this is an issue, but that's a whole lot easier to get through than that other part. And the bypass that they had up there, the bypass is like walking on the side of a hill, where if they come up right here and bypass around that, that's what they need to do. I don't know who's in charge of bypasses or reroutes. It ain't me. But I got some good ideas. All right, I'm going back down to the crew.
Carl! Van usually keeps a little bit of rope. Van usually keeps a little bit of rope. Let's put a rope on that. Pull. Watch it's going to jump.
Yep. Look out that ends, that rock ends while we come off. You ready? Yeah. Rotate. All right. One more time.
Let it sit down. See what it does.
It's coming.
Get out of the way. I'm going to let it go.
All right. That end, that's your bottom's going to kick. There you go.
Oh, good gosh.
Pull that bottom out just a hair. All right, this is the hangman. This hung us up. This whole crew of 20 people for the last hour. She ain't wanting to go. Oh, I can fix that. Get on the other side of it and run that way with it.
That's an insulator on that tree.
Yeah, it is. That's what I was telling you. Hopefully. Maybe. Held this whole crew up.
Where's it going to go? Well, it's going to come this way. So if this end's going to drop that way, it should slide off over the log.
Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. There you go. All right, dead man. Whew. Can we go back to work now, boss?
Yeah.
I'm absolutely amazed how fast they got through that. That wasn't an hour ago, 45 minutes ago. Do some big stuff. Man, that's amazing. They got through all of that stuff in the time that I hiked up there, scouted out, got all the way to that bypass. So, speaking of the bypass, so I was on the old AT. Where the AT goes now is a reroute around that hill, that top, that peak, summit, whatever. And I'm not sure, I guess they just wanted to get it so it didn't have so much elevation change. But anyway, I'm assuming it's a temporary bypass, but maybe it's going to be something permanent. So Joe's talking about going lower elevation. And I think, in retrospect, I was like, why? Wow, there's already a trail up top. But obviously he knows more than I do. That's my problem all my life. I think I know more than the next guy who's been out here busting his butt for, I don't know, since August. Anyway, so his idea is to go low. And I think that comes back into the trail there. So that's going to be, I think, more work, maybe. But again, I may not know what the heck I'm talking about. But it's certainly, if it does come back in a different elevation, then that could become permanent. Anyway. All right, a lot of root balls that way, a lot of stuff that's completely killed the trail. So, yeah, that needs to be there. It's a pasture trail, right? All right, let me get on. Let me get my ruck and get back up trail. Dang, I need a haircut. I'm starting to look old. So, I've only been out here for a couple hours. I mean, I say a day, but I mean, it's only 1:30 now. We got left Roan, met down there at 9. We didn't get started on trail till 10. Then we got travel time, but so the hours I put in are minimal. But I'm sitting here thinking to myself, you know, through hikers and other hikers, they'll never know, or they'll never understand how much effort went into clearing this trail just in what we're doing now. I mean, I filled a couple root ball holes today and I'm wore out. It's just amazing that volunteers come out here and do this. And they do it for, you know, they do it for the love of the trail, but they do it because they do it because they love each other and they love being around each other and they love a common goal. And that is clearing the trail, fixing the trail. I think it's the camaraderie as much as anything. If you didn't have that, I don't think a lot of them would be out here. I know that I've enjoyed it immensely today.
Pretty good, because I don't know if you guys cut some of the locust logs before you went in, but we used just about every usable locust.
We had to get a few cut to go in to put up some root balls.
Yeah, and we used pretty much every single one of them that was, and we even found one that was just the right length, but it was kind of partially buried, but the roots were up, so we dug it out and used it. You'll see that down below.
I know, right?
You done got down to good dirt.
We finally got some real dirt.
It's dirt. Okay.
Put your ear to the ground. See if you can hear him speaking Chinese.
I mean, there might be a hole in here that you could lose a leg in.
Our other one over there might be.
Hey, Megan, can you give us a howl? Come on, I know you know how to do it. Is that a red wolf or a gray wolf howl? So, how do trail maintainers get their tools out of the woods? They tote them. So we've been about a mile and a half, 2 miles in, toting those saws and rock bars and all of it. Look at these guys, all volunteers, busting it for folks out there. Well, what a great group of folks, no doubt about it. All right, we are heading back to the truck. We're done for the day, and I think they've already cleared that. Yep. So this was Canute Farm. They got about a half a mile, and they say, according to one of the master sawyers, I'll say, for lack of a better word, I think his name's Clint. He says he can get through that in 3 days with 4 saws. So that means that the next week they should be through that. Give them 2 weeks, depending on the weather. So things just continue to progress and get better and better. So you through 2025, folks, don't worry about it. Hike on. And you section hikers and day hikers, get ready. The trail's going to be ready for you. In some way, shape, or form. Maybe a couple places you have to go around, but I think it's going to be ready. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it after being out here working for a day with these great, hard-working folk.
Well, that's it for this episode of Working with the Trail Maintainers. Certainly not it for Working with the Trail Maintainers. I plan to go out there and do that again if they'll have me, if they'll not ghost me. And when I do, I promise it will not be Ramdino giving his advice. It ain't worth a hill of beans, because you guys are the soul of the trail. You know what's going on, and sorry for opening my mouth out there. Just can't help myself sometimes. But it'll be a different story next time if you'll have me back. They initiated me into their community there, and that was really neat there at the end, so that was awesome. And what's really awesome is they busted through that section, so no reroute necessary. And that was a tremendous amount of debris and everything that they had in there, and made it to a Moreland Gap shelter. So that's awesome. And appreciate everything that you folks are doing out there. Thanks a lot, and look forward to spending time with you again. Folks, go and check out these links over here, this playlist. Got interviews with Joe. Thanks a lot, Joe, for allowing me to come out there and work with you. And then also we've got some of, you can see what devastation was like before the trail maintainers got out there and took care of business. All right, folks, that's all I've got for this episode. As always, appreciate you, and we'll see you out here.